do it. It'll turn out okay. And welcome to Talking Time with Caffeine. My guest today will introduce. My guest today is well, who are you today?
My name is Nicola Leon. I'm an actor. I played Christopher Robin in Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey. And yeah, you may also see me in some films like The Killing Tree and Alien Invasion.
So have you only been in like horror movies and stuff?
Mostly, yeah. um, yeah, I even my first ever film was a horror film. I just somehow seemed to get the horrors.
You, so you think you've been typecast, or have you just gone for these roles so far?
I think I've been cursed with horrors. That's all it is. Uh, I love them though, so I'm a big fan of horror movies, especially the old classic slasher films. So yeah, I have no complaints.
Nice. So what got you into acting?
Um, let's see. My parents had like this like whole collection of VHS tapes, and I would just watch every single movie every day. I'd say my biggest inspiration, my first ever inspiration, I'd say was Laurel and Hardy. They were uh, like the dynamic duo of Charlie Chaplin. They were just hilarious and amazing actors, and I think these were the guys that really inspired me. But yeah, it's just something I've always just one day I'm a cowboy, next day I'm a astronaut. So I always enjoyed stepping into the shoes of someone else, I guess.
Nice. So, mm, so is there any role you want to take?
Mm. Uh, I've mentioned before, like I'm a massive fan of Ghost Rider. I feel like that's a character who I feel like needs to be explored more in the Marvel universe. Um, that's a character I think would be extremely fun. A character that I think is every kind of actor's dream is the Joker, but at the same time, it's the most challenging one, I think, in my opinion. There's so many, you know, um, variations you can do with that character.
So what's if you back to the Ghost Rider, which version of him would you want to play? The Johnny or the Robbie version?
I think Johnny, just because I'm like a Harley Davidson kind of fan, and but there's so many. I want to. You know what? I want to play the Spirit of Vengeance Ghost Rider. You know the blue one.
I
I want them
I
to
about that.
that.
Sorry.
Yeah, there's like a blue Ghost Rider. Um, I don't know the full backstory, but it's fucking badass. That's all I'm saying.
I have a question for you in the chat.
Yeah. So when I went to drama school, it was mainly just focusing on theatre, Shakespeare. I started off going to Richmond Adult Community College. Um, and then after that, I went to Rose Bruford. And there I mainly learned, you know, different types of theatre techniques. Uh, yeah, Stanislavski, you know, all of that. I love theatre because it's a very very different experience to film. With film, there's a lot of waiting around, and the one thing I love about theatre is when you're on stage, you're in character the whole time, and it's you feel like the presence of the audience. So it's a completely different experience. Both are great in their own way, but yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Uh, so what do you do? Have you done any other part of the acting career, like the writing, directing, producing, stage work, and anything like that?
Hmm. So I've just dabbled into writing. I'm currently in the process of getting my script funded. It's a story based off true historical events of kind of the final days of Ukrainian paganism, and it's a script that I wrote over COVID, and I think it's a very important time right now to kind of tell this story, tell Ukraine's true history and protect its history and culture.
Cool. I have also dabbled in writing, at least attempted to. I've written a 40,000 page book so far, and
Holy, that's a lot of pages, man.
yeah, I'm just trying to get to the next step to get it proofread and stuff, and so I can publish it.
Mhm.
And who
It's
knows,
a
maybe. So
yeah. I didn't realize. I loved writing in English all the time, like writing stories, but just creating your own worlds and stuff. It's a lot of fun.
yeah. So is your script based on a true story? Is it fictional or what?
So it's based off historical events. It's when Volodymyr Volodymyr Veliki, Vladimir the Great, it's when he kind of returned to Ukraine and converted Ukraine to Orthodox Christianity and kind of segregated paganism. And the story follows a group of pagans who are sailing to Sweden in seek of a new home, where they can worship their beliefs, and but things don't really go to plan as always.
So what year is this based on again?
So I believe he comes back in like 980 AD or something like that. I need to double check again, but it's around 900 AD.
So like
That
around the founding of Russia area, around then.
exactly. It's when the Rus Vikings and the Kievan Rus Empire was in place.
Before the Mongols came around.
Exactly, yeah. A lot of people didn't know, but when the Kievan Rus was established, there wasn't even there was no Russia. It was just the woods. I think Russia came from Novgorod, I think. But yeah, even Rus Empire was apparently the first Eastern Slavic state.
Someone's got to be first.
I hope to bring it to the screen.
Nice. So you're gonna go like an independent film thing, or you're gonna go full studio with your work?
I'm at the end of the day, I'm an actor. I have no experience whatsoever when it comes to this. However, I'm trying my best to do my very best to tell the story the correct way. Not rush things, and tell the story I want to tell, I guess.
So so have you ever so you never directed anything or anything like that? You never been a director yet?
Say that again, sorry.
So you haven't been a director yet? Anything of your own projects?
I haven't. No, I thought about it. I feel like I would go crazy, to be honest. I'd feel like that's too much responsibility for me. Although I can see how much fun it would be, you know, to direct. I mean, you're the master. You're like the gamer, and um, a lot of people don't know though that they praise the director, the actors, but a lot of people don't realize how much work the sound man, the cameraman, put into. With a film production, it's a family effort sort of thing,
Yeah.
and yeah. And just to be in charge of all of those people, and yeah, it must be crazy. Must be very hard work. So I praise every director out there
I don't
because
doubt it. So
yeah.
for your for so you for your starring role now, Christopher Robin, did they come to you, or did you go to them?
Say that again, sorry.
For your role, your starring role of Christopher Robin, did they
Hmm.
come to you, or did you go to them?
So with Christopher Robin, I was offered a casting call by a good friend of mine called Charlie Esker, who's another actress. She just sent me like a link to a casting call that Jagged Edge was doing for The Killing Tree. And I just, I didn't think nothing of it. I just sent them over my show reel, my, headshots. And then I got the part for The Killing Tree. And then after that, not too long, I hear Scott text me about Christopher Robin. And yeah, that was it.
So, so how was it working on the film?
It was a lot of fun. It was nothing like I experienced. I've never worked on such a high budget um, production, and especially to play such an iconic character. I never thought I'd have the honor. Um, but yeah, it was a lot of fun working with Craig, the dude that plays Winnie the Pooh. He's super nice. Everyone, it was a pleasure. Yeah.
So is Winnie the Pooh, was he a good actor or a bad actor? Was Winnie the when you talked to Winnie the Pooh, was he like a drama queen and stuff? Because he's a famous bear and stuff.
No, he was a great actor. He was very dedicated. The mask that he was wearing was, barely had any holes, so he could barely breathe for that thing, and he was wearing that thing for quite a long time in between sets. So I praise his work. He worked, yeah, he worked very hard.
Uh, so, without giving you any spoilers and stuff, people might want to watch the movie. But is your character a good guy or a bad guy?
Man, that's a very good question, because we know Christopher Robin as kind of the good guy. And in the film, I guess he's kind of portrayed as a good guy, but it's like, almost everything he does, it doesn't really go well. you know. Um yeah, there's a few things in the film where even I was like, come on, Christopher, get your shit together. um but I think he is a good guy, and at the end of the day, I think he had good intentions to come back um to his childhood friends, hoping that they will give him a warm welcome, but that's the complete opposite of what they do.
So, so what was it like working what on a famous property like that? Even though it's it's totally off script now.
On a famous property.
Yeah, like Winnie the Pooh, it's like a big time
Mm.
thing.
Oh yeah, I I just didn't, you know I didn't I knew it was going to be a big deal because of the iconic characters, and how beloved these characters are by everyone, but I didn't really know the reaction that it would get from the fans. It was crazy when the first trailer came out. Yeah, I
So
didn't
do you
expect.
yeah? So do you think you see yourself working with Ewan McGregor in a Winnie the Pooh multiverse film crossover
I mean, he's an awesome
where your Christopher
actor.
Robin meets his Christopher Robin?
I won't say no to that, man. He's an amazing actor. I'm a huge fan. I will be battling with lightsabers.
So anything you want to talk about, advertise, or bring up, or anything that you're doing that you're doing?
Um, I'm working currently on a project called The Borata Assassin. It's actually written by the same actress who suggested um, Jagged Edge, Charlie Yasker. It's kind of like a, I don't want to give too much away. It's like a crime drama with like a little bit of fantasy to it. So yeah, we're just figuring out locations at the moment, and yeah, I'm filming that this year, hopefully. Yeah.
So you got that project and your Ukraine project going on right now.
Yes, sir.
So what else do you do for fun?
Oh, and also sorry, and
Right.
recently with Eric from uh I think you may know him, Eric
Yeah,
from
he's the one that asked. He's the one that asked that question earlier.
exactly. There we go. um I'm doing I'm meant to be doing two projects with those guys who were super kind enough to offer me an opportunity to play in first Dumb of the Dead, which is kind of like a horror comedy. I play Willie. He's kind of a dumb guy, but it's very lovable, and it's a very funny script, very well written. So I'm excited for that. And also Frankenstein versus Dracula, which is just I need to say no more for that.
Can you say who
So
you're playing at least? Are you playing one of the main characters or playing a side character?
in Frankenstein,
Yeah.
so I think I meant to be playing Peter Frankenstein if I remember correctly. I'm not too sure. But
Who's
I'm
who, who is Pizza Frankenstein?
say that again.
Who is Pizza Frankenstein?
Peter Frankenstein. I'm not sure. I think this is what I heard last time. Um, but I heard the name Peter
Uh,
last time we chatted. The character I was meant to be playing.
uh, a
So
Frankenstein made out of different pizzas put together. One part pepperoni, one part pineapple, one part chicken, one part.
he's got like pepperonis on one side, mushrooms. That's a Frankenstein I want to see.
Uh, so what else do you? What do you do for fun besides acting and writing and other stuff?
Um, I like to play guitar. I'm a huge gamer. I spend most of my time gaming, watching movies. I used to play rugby. That's kind of my sport of choice. Um, Apart from that, I'm pretty boring. I like to go skateboarding sometimes, but yeah.
Yeah, I never got the skateboarding. I was terrible at it. I do bike. I can bike 22 miles sometimes.
What do you do for fun?
I said, like besides stuff, I bike for 22 miles when I'm bored,
Hmm.
and then I like writing books. And I do play video games too. I tried to do a which I'm trying to do a let's play channel on YouTube, but that's a lot of editing. I am terrible at editing.
Mm. That would be cool though. I used to love watching Let's Play videos. And it's a
Well,
lot of it. It's a lot of money for the equipment, right? You know, to transfer your game footage onto the screen, you have to get some sort of device. I forgot what it's called,
yeah,
but
capture cards and stuff.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah, I used to do this podcast. I've upgraded a lot in this 13 years. I started this podcast on a laptop using McDonald Wi-Fi,
You gotta start somewhere, man. You know.
and
And here we,
now I got a mic with a thingy on it.
you see,
So I
start at the bottom now. Hey, man, that's a good mic. I can tell.
what kind of games do you like to play?
Uh,
All games or just a picture genre or what?
At the moment, I've been playing Killer Clowns, the game.
Uh,
Killer Clowns Out of Space, the game, which I'm a huge fan of the film as well. Resident Evil 4, obviously, that's amazing.
so both your acting and your game thing have a theme going.
I'm noticing a trend here. um, I've been playing LA Noir as well. I really love that game. I love my detective sort of games as well.
Nice.
RoboCop as well. That's a good game. What about you?
Yeah, I recently come into visual novel games like Danganronpa, Phoenix Wright, Steins Gate, stuff like that.
Hmm.
And then I like RPGs, Final Fantasy series, Kingdom Hearts, Zelda, Mario, the classics.
Hmm. You dabbled in Fallout
I think
or like the Witcher as well is my one of my favorites.
uh, not. I think I dabble, but I am I am terrible at PvP games.
Understood. I have my moments.
Ugh. So, hmm. so if people, so do you have a YouTube channel or something? People can find your work. You advertise your work on YouTube or anything, or Facebook or something. You advertise it or anything.
My main kind of social media platform is Instagram. You'll just find me with at Nikolai underscore Leon. Um, yeah, I mainly post most of my work there.
1 second.
Yeah.
You want to if you want to get a hold of him and stuff, here's his things. See what he's up to, all his progress and stuff. It's right there in the chat. So, is there? Hmm, so, is there? I think I might already asked you this, but I'll ask it again just in case I didn't. Is there any big role that you really want to have stick your teeth into? That you got given the opportunity.
Um, I've been a massive fan of a comic book series called Fables by Bill Willington. Um, One of my favorite characters in that series is called Bigby Wolf. So, a bit of background. Fables is essentially the fairy tale characters that we know, we grew up with, had to escape their homelands to modern day New York and kind of disguise themselves in our society and live among ourselves in secret. And you have, Sheriff, who's the big bad wolf. He's kind of looking after everyone. Snow White, Prince Charming, who's like a playboy. It's got so many different characters, but like twisted versions, and it's very dark and noir, and I guess it's kind of like a Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. You know how you take these kind of fairy tale characters and make them dark. But Bigby Wolf is such an interesting character. He's kind of like going through this redemption story, how the fables are still kind of scared of him because of his past, of what he done, you know eating Little Red Riding Hood and blowing down the pigs. And so he's kind of still trying to get accepted by the fables as sheriff, while you know maintaining this kind of beast wolf that he has inside of him. I guess like most of the fables, who they disguise themselves wearing this kind of spell called glamour. So I just love that whole world, and I hope it comes to to the screen, whether it's a film or a TV series. And um, whether it's Bigby Wolf or any character like Boy Blue, there's a yeah. I would just love to be a part of that
Right.
series.
You mind answering some people asking some personal questions. Do you mind answering some personal questions or not? Or
Yeah.
not? All right, first personal question is,
What are my religious views? So I grew up going to like an Orthodox church, like a Ukrainian church. And then I went to school, and then it's kind of Catholic. So I guess like Catholic, Orthodox Christianity. Yeah.
so are you in Ukraine right now or what?
I'm in London right now. I was recently in Ukraine around May. I was just visiting some family.
Not the war zone.
Luckily, my family kind of live more west of the country. Most of the conflict is happening more east to the border of Russia.
Uh,
Yeah, we still heard like sirens, going off, but yeah, it's yeah.
what is your opinion on modern day flat earthers?
Um, you know, I saw like a video where it's one guy kind of gave almost a very convincing argument for the flat Earth. You know how there's apparently this ice wall around the Arctic, and apparently anyone that goes near this ice wall gets escorted away by some people. um, but each to their own. I still believe the world is a sphere, but yeah, there's some people out there with some pretty convincing arguments. I'm not gonna lie,
But you're not convinced.
but I'm not convinced. No. They almost got me. They almost got me.
So speaking of conspiracy theories and stuff, what is the dumbest conspiracy theory you've ever heard?
Uh, um, I think I heard something like, what if the sky is the ocean or something, or like, sometimes when you look at the sky, it looks like waves.
Yeah,
So
sky's
it's like,
blue, sea's blue.
right?
Same thing.
So it's like, what when we go into the space, maybe we're just going, and when we go on the water, we can't breathe. So when we go into space, we can't breathe. So who knows?
Okay, anybody else in chat have any questions? Here's your chance. How about you? Any questions for me?
What's yours? What's your dumbest, craziest conspiracy you've heard?
Oh, that. See there. I'd have to do the vaccine conspiracy. The vaccine conspiracies.
Mm-hmm.
Like vaccines give you autism, and or they have microchips in in the new vaccines that give you microchips.
Yeah, there was a lot of those rumors going around, weren't there? Mm.
What is your opinion on people that deny dinosaurs ever existed?
I say, go to a museum, go read a history book. I believe them. I think there's enough evidence out there to prove that they exist.
So, well, speaking of dinosaurs and stuff, do you have a favorite school subject?
Apart from the obvious drama, I really enjoyed history. I really enjoyed
Me
learning
too.
about different cultures, different wars, different just periods of time.
Any particular era of history that you really sucked your teeth into? That really got your interest?
Man, I really, I really enjoyed, uh, as sad as it is, learning about Vietnam. There was so much to learn about Vietnam and that war, and just so many crazy stories and, you know, conflicts and the propaganda. And yeah, it was mad. I really sunk my teeth into that subject.
About your own history. Are you like an expert in Ukraine? You're from Ukraine. Are you can you get Ukrainian history down to a science?
I'm 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 trying. Yeah, I want to explore more the Cossacks, which came a bit later than the Rus Vikings. They were like a brotherhood who kind of defended the independence of Ukrainian people for centuries, and they were very very important people in Ukrainian history. And yeah, I want to explore that side of history more, and hopefully as well bring it to the screen. That would be a dream. Yeah,
Of course, that's way after your time frame in your movie, right?
yeah. I'm just foreshadowing now.
But yeah, that'll be in the sequel or the trilogy, whatever. If you ever do a
Exactly.
whole mini series. So kind of kind of obvious, but I think I assume the answer is obvious, but answer anyways. So who do you support in this in the Ukraine war? What side do you support?
Oh man, I wonder who. uh, Ukraine, obviously. Slava Ukraine. Fuck Russia and Putin.
Do you still talk to Winnie the Pooh?
Sometimes, yeah. Me and Craig, we stay in touch sometimes.
So what
He's
did
out
you?
there.
Sorry, go on.
No, no, he's most of the time he loves filming nature. I love seeing his videos of mountains and stuff like that. He does very cool nature shots.
Nature. He works with the real bear killers.
they've accepted him as one of their own.
Yeah. Says Eddie says, I can't imagine working on a horror film set. It must be difficult.
Uh, I'd say the most difficult part is the weather conditions. If watch most horror movies, they're not clothed very well. The weather conditions is not very well. So I'm not a big fan of colds. So I'd say for me that was the hardest part, is just dealing with the weather conditions, and it's you know take
So,
after different angles.
so did you film outside a lot or inside or what?
We did, yeah. Most of my shots, at least, were outside. Especially the last, with the car explosion and the kind of last scene. There was this kind of clay mud, and when it sticks to you, and it dries, it becomes like concrete and heavy, and it was so uncomfortable. um, but yeah, that's the beauty of filmmaking. You gotta love it.
So did you work with all real things or real pieces, or did you have to do any or talk to any CGI stuff?
No, that was all real. Mm, I, I guess the only CGI that I know is when they had to move Pooh's ears, and like obviously the gore and blood effects. But apart from that, no, what you see is what you get.
So would you ever want to work on a non horror Winnie the Pooh film as a
On a,
non murdering Christopher Robin?
yeah, I think that would be a nice change of pace. Yeah,
So where was this filmed at? Was it filmed in Europe?
it was filmed in It was filmed in England in Ashtown Forest, which is actually the forest which A. A. Mills was inspired by to write the books.
Where's that at in England? Where's
I
that
think
at?
it, I think it was in Kent. If I'm not, if I'm, yeah, I think it was in Kent.
Oh, I can't. About a year ago, me and my one friend, we did a whole mini series about the Anglo-Saxon England and their different kingdoms.
Mm. hmm There's England has a very as well interesting history.
Yeah,
Very interesting when the Vikings, invaded Northumbria, and the Saxons and their, history, and yeah, the
yeah,
temple. Oh, there's so much. Yeah.
different languages too, even English. Like I can barely understand English from 500 years ago, let alone English from 800 years ago.
More
Like,
hard.
yeah, the King James Bible is hard enough to understand sometimes when I used to read it. That was hard enough to understand, let alone.
There's so many different accents now. It's like even English people are like struggling. Um, but Henry, I'd say my favorite English king, is Henry V. If you ever get a chance on Netflix to watch The King with Timothy Chalamet, it explores his story. But Henry V is an awesome king, true story, and yeah, it's a
I
great
think
part.
I think my favorite Henry had to be Henry VII,
hmm
the one that united the families of
hmm
the war.
hmm At least, at least it's not the one after that. The one after that wasn't too nice.
What do you
Henry
mean?
VIII.
Yeah, he had he loved women. He had 6 wives.
Right. Yeah. Who no longer had their heads for a long time.
Uh, so, so I, I can't really think of anything else right now. So anything else? If no one else has any questions, anything you want to talk about before we go?
How did you and Eric know each other? How did you go?
Um, well, me and Eric met on a Facebook group where he was arguing against a stupid guy named Kent Hovind about creationism.
hmm hmm And the rest is history.
Yeah,
Awesome. Now I was just wondering.
yeah, and then we just. Uh,
Yeah, I want to see it. I haven't got around to see it yet, but yeah, I want to see it.
so I'm guessing you're not in it.
Apparently, I have a cameo in it. Like I'm shown on the screen for a bit, but no, I'm not personally in it. No.
Uh,
Yeah,
uh,
there was a few creative differences with the sequel. That, a long story.
Are you a dog or cat person?
Oh man, my cat is there sleeping, so he won't hear this. But I'm a dog person personally. uh, as much as I love cats too, but I'm a dog person.
Yeah, yeah, I'm a dog person too. Mainly due to the fact that I think I'm allergic to cat fur, so that kind of.
Yeah, I get very sneezy sometimes with this guy.
And I know I was at my niece's one time, and I was playing with their cat. All of a sudden, my niece's like, "You look red."
Yeah,
That fast.
that's when you know.
I,
I just get really itchy eyes. Like my eyes go itchy.
you surprised that became a horror movie too?
No, I'm not surprised at all. I'm pretty sure Scooby Doo is going to become some demonic monster soon. So yeah, I guess all our childhoods are screwed.
So what do you think it is? What do you think? So what do you think it is with all these all of a sudden becoming all of a sudden horror movies instead of like other things? That all of a sudden everything's a horror movie now. What do you think about that?
I guess it's just shows where our generation is going. It's just going into a dark place. No, I love it. I love the dark and twisted. I'm all for it. You know, uh, I'm all for new ideas, original. Or not
Yeah,
original.
I'm for original ideas too, but I can't say this doesn't happen. I probably won't be watching your horror movies. I'm too jumpy for horror movies and too squeamish. So, what would you
I
do
don't
with
know. It's quite a gruesome film.
what would you do with a Sonic the Hedgehog horror movie if you made one?
Oh man, that would be awesome. And could you imagine if he has to, it's okay. So Freddy versus Jason.
Yeah,
It could be Sonic versus Mario, and they just have some bloodbath. You throw in Luigi there.
yeah, because I think it's gonna be a long time before Mario is in the public domain.
But yeah, I could see Sonic being terrifying in a horror movie.
So if you want to do, so if you want a Sonic horror movie, you want to play Sonic and the side characters or Robotnik or what? If you're in a Sonic horror movie,
I want to play that. What's his name? Dr. Eggman or something.
Eggman, Robotnik, yeah, cool.
Yeah. I mean, he's already quite scary in the already. So.
Would you have to pack on some weight, or would you be like a?
Oh yeah, I'll go full method. I'll put on 100 pounds. I'll shave my head, grow a mustache.
I before we go, you want to share any links or something in the chat to your project that you want working on?
I haven't got any links at the moment. I will any sort of new projects I'll be working on will all just be on my Instagram. Any new updates and films, anything like that.
I'll put his Instagram link in the description below. Anybody wants to check his work out? Oh, one last question.
Man, it was a lot of fun. Let me see. I think the first one I ever did was in Scarborough. It was like mainly themed with Doctor Who / Star Wars. So there was a lot of, Doctor Who's and Jedi's walking around, and I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen so much stuff that I love in one place. Games and the movies I love, and it just yeah, and just seeing the fans, us, how excited they were to see the film and to meet us was just a pleasure to meet them. And, yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Apparently we missed a question.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, that would be that. You see, that's kind of like the Freddy versus Jason, because I see Freddy as Mickey Mouse, because Freddy was quick, but he wasn't quite as strong as Jason, whereas Winnie has the strength. So I don't know, man. That's quite a fight,
And Mickey has the
Speed,
magic.
yeah, Mickey's the speed, Winnie's the strength. I don't know. I think that might be like a draw.
or future team up.
When
All right, so like I said, I'll put his Instagram link in the description. You can check his stuff out. And if you have any questions, put them in the comment section. I'll forward them to him if you want. He can answer them if he wants to. But before you go, you have a closing catchphrase that you say
Slavo Ukraine. That's the best one I can do.
that'll become famous someday. And as I always say, never stop learning and enjoy the randomness. We will see you next time. Bye.